How did they feel when Eminem was directly taking shots at Trump?
Good old MAGA rap. So, you see,
You gotta give that to me.
yeah, I'm talking about favorite topics to destroy because there was a special on Vice about MAGA rap. I actually watched some of this. Shout out to the homie Spools. He's like, dude, make sure you watch this.
Good brother Spools.
Yeah. I've been talking to him a lot about some of the stuff that we're talking about tonight, and he's like, dude, make sure you watch this. It's pretty good.
It was pretty good. I watched about half of it.
And I watched enough to know that I did not realize, one, how popular MAGA rap has become. I didn't understand until I saw some of the footage at the shows, and these guys are traveling around the country performing. I didn't realize that they got to this point, but clearly they out here as it relates to MAGA rap.
Today.
Yeah, and there was this dude, man, and Spool sent me his name. What was
Is it Forgio or
Forgio Blow?
Blow, yeah.
Forgiato Blow, I believe, is the guy. So they kind of follow these guys around, and they follow him around. They talk about MAGA rap, but here's my thing. First of all, it's kind of interesting. These guys, they don't have any problem using hip hop language style to promote the music. They have, and it's most of the stuff that they say is rooted in like fear and hatred and even conspiracy theories, or some people would even say even racism
Stuff
but
MAGA.
There we go. But thank you. But
can't sugarcoat it.
That's pretty much that's it. But for me, MAGA rap is not held to the same standard or critiqued like hip hop is, because with hip hop we always talk about how it impacts the culture, the lyrics. It's so detrimental. This hip hop is so detrimental because, and there's always topics and conversations about this. But I don't hear the same attention being pointed towards, or the analysis pointed towards MAGA rap.
Because there's a standard with hip hop.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Well, let's say the first thing first. A lot of the people that are fans of MAGA rap are not fans of hip hop and would not even understand what the difference between MAGA rap and hip hop is.
That's it. There we go.
I don't know how true that is though, because
I agree with him on that one.
Because if you like MAGA rap, it is MAGA music, but it's essentially rap.
But rap isn't necessarily hip hop.
Yeah,
that's true. Okay,
like rapping.
Where you going?
Okay.
Once again, I hate to use this example again because I don't feel like I'm picking on him. But when Freedom Williams was rapping, "I'm gonna make you sweat," was that hip hop?
No,
technically, like
it's your world and I'm just a squirrel.
Milli Vanilli was rapping on "Girl, You Know It's True," but that's not.
Was that hip hop?
No, it wasn't.
So just because you're saying words in rhyme, that doesn't make it hip hop.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's where I was going with
I
that.
stand corrected.
Yeah.
You hit exactly what
well, that's the
jump
first,
right on it.
I mean, because I watched the first half of that, and in the very beginning of the doc, it's like some little kid that walks up there. He's just like, "Oh, Forgiato," or whatever the hell his name is, and he's like, "Man, I don't really like rap music, but I like you."
I started listening to his music, and I'm like, "Yeah, I like this." And I don't like listening to rap music and stuff. I don't listen to that.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of like, yeah, exactly. It's just like Eminem fans.
Was that scripted?
I don't think so.
I don't think it was.
But it's just like when somebody says and there's some black people that take this as a compliment, and it's not a compliment at all. When they say you're different than other black people,
yes,
and like is someone. I didn't have the words to say it's not a compliment, but I knew it was not a compliment,
right?
And so it's kind of that same thing. Where it's like, oh, I don't like rap, but I like this.
I had something very similar happen to me when I was working construction. I used to work with some people that they were from rural parts of Indiana.
Yeah,
but they used to have to come to the city all the time.
Right.
And I remember him distinctly saying, like, he's like, "Man, you not like them other ends."
Wow.
And I was like,
"Wow."
Yeah. I was like, "Whoa."
It's like it just went right over his head, right?
Yeah, I was like, man, I took it as a moment. I took it as a moment to educate. You know what I mean? Because
you're a good one. Because
I'm proud of you for that. Yeah, I'm proud of you for that. I'm proud of you for that.
Took it as a moment to whoop some ass.
I was at my job.
Okay.
You know
what? You got to think about the check.
Exactly.
He just talked about the power of the check.
Yeah. But ultimately, it was like, man, can you tell me, have you ever met somebody black? You know what I mean? Or are you just going off of what you've seen on TV? You know what I mean? And ultimately, that's what it is. You know what I mean? All they have is the stereotypes that they've been taught and everything that they've seen on TV.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, like, I might have been one of the first black people that he ever had a conversation with. Yeah. So,
or a conversation like to that degree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which is a thing.
But you'd be surprised. I mean, no, you wouldn't be surprised. At least no one in this
surprised
room
about
would
what?
be. You know, when I got to college, I went to SIU Carbondale. You know, so you drawing from all over Illinois.
Yeah.
There were guys on my floor. The black people they met in college is the first time they met anybody black.
Yeah. That happened to me in college too. The dude was scared to shake my hand.
Yeah.
And I scared the black was going to rub off of him.
And you know, we laugh, but this is the this is the wildest thing
That's real,
I've ever heard. Like, I remember
that's real.
Can we pivot back into explaining what MAGA Rap is?
I was about.
Okay.
That's right.
Yeah,
we can't assume everyone has heard. Yeah, the other times we talked about MAGA Rap.
So MAGA is. It was spawned from Trump's movement,
Right.
but what it is, it's not necessarily just about Trump. It's very much Republican idea. Yeah,
White nationalist.
It's white nationalist, Republican. Let's just say conservative. It's conservative ideals. So everything that you can think of that is the stereotypical Republican, that is what it embodies. And so it's just rap music that has appropriated hip hop culture to
advance.
Yeah, to advance an entire different narrative. Yeah.
Yep.
And so that's what it is. And don't get me wrong. I mean, it is a thing. It's not super major. It's not super large, even though there's just a doc about it. Like, we talked about this a year ago or 2 years ago or something like that. Like,
we did.
It's not huge. I mean, the Bryson Gray's one guy and this 𝗲𝗔𝗗𝗦 blow guy or whatever his name is kind of what it is. It's
is he
just
Caucasian?
The 𝗲𝗔𝗗𝗦 dude is. Bryson Gray's black.
Yeah, I was about to say, I did know there was somebody black there.
Boy, is he proud about what he's doing, too.
But this other dude, this 𝗲𝗔𝗗𝗦 blow or whatever his name is that his name? I keep screwing it up.
Yeah.
Is it 𝗲𝗗𝗗𝗦?
I'll double check, but I believe it's 𝗲𝗗𝗗𝗦 blow. I believe
Mr. Blow. He even said, he was like, yeah, I was just kind of rapping and I just saw kind of a lane kind of opened up for it. And so, he just kind of went, yeah, they can rap. Like, they can rap well. But But yeah, they can rap decently well. But as far as like being able to rap, is the content there? No, I mean the content is just like it's like Trump rhetoric. It's conservative rhetoric. It's like it's antithetical to like everything that makes sense for hip hop. So it's just literally like its own type of thing.
Antithetical.
I don't know, because you know what the thing is.
He snapped.
I almost feel like I know people who are conservatives who are not MAGA.
That's
MAGA is something else. MAGA is almost a cult.
It's its own.
Like,
entity.
I know people who have conservative values, and I can rap. We can have conversations.
Yeah.
Right.
Those are the people who I talk to. We've talked about people being married to their opinions.
Yeah.
And dating them. Mm-hmm. I'm one of those people who say I date my opinions. I don't marry them.
Right.
You know. So when I can talk to a conservative, somebody who's MAGA and has who puts the Trump flag above the American flag, those are people I can't really talk to.
But irrational though. It's like you can't get through.
Once again, it's cultish.
But I think okay.
Do you disagree?
I disagree to an extent, because I feel like the difference between the MAGA people and just regular conservative Republicans is the MAGA people say the quiet part out loud, and the conservative Republican people, they know how to maneuver around it and say it.
I like that. You're very much right.
I like that.
I can agree with that for some of them.
For most of them.
Even if I have been lucky enough to meet that one conservative where we've been able to have a conversation and be like, oh, you know what, you're right on that, or maybe I've been lucky in that way. Where I've been able to sit and talk to someone who I can't talk to MAGA people. I'm sorry, you're a lost cause.
We would agree that we would agree that the percentage that Jay Moore is referring to is
smaller,
very small.
Because remember,
maybe loan or no.
Remember when there was this whole thing? It was the Tea Party.
Yeah, for sure.
And you know why we don't talk about the Tea Party anymore? Because that's just the Republican Party now. Yeah.
But okay, so if I take
most of them are the people who become. Those are the people who
They went MAGA.
Kiss when they wheel in a gold statue of Donald Trump, even though like one of the even though they talk about being Christians and all this, they still love these false idols. You know what I'm saying? Like they will forego anything that they've ever actually thought to kiss this man's ass.
Go get your point off.
Literally and figuratively.
What were you going to say?
Well, I was going to say, I equate it. I see the differences, right? So, like, yes, there's a difference between fans of, let's say, Bryson Gray and 𝗏𝗔𝗔𝗦 versus an Eminem just listening to Eminem fan. But a lot of Eminem fans at the same time that are white have very conservative viewpoints and have very strong opinions about hip hop just because they like a couple hip hop artists.
Even though Eminem told them that he doesn't need them as fans.
But at the same time, they will ride for him. So I feel like there's a weird,
just out of pure whiteness.
There's a weird overlap between these two fan bases, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that of their political standpoint, even if they're not super political, it's, you know, like where you stand on race issues in this country, whether or not you want it to be a political thing or not, it is political. And so, like, if you get triggered by the fact that you think that you get mad that somebody says Eminem isn't the greatest and you think he is and he's the great white hype and all this stuff, and people are like, nah, he's not, and then you get triggered on that, you're still falling over into that group a little bit.
Jump in, B.
That makes sense.
You were going to say something.
So how did those people that they find themselves to be conservatives or even MAGA types, how did they feel when Eminem was directly taking shots at Trump?
That's a good point.
That's a good point.
They felt abandoned because they thought he was on their team.
Maybe that's
but maybe that's where Kid Rock was like, I see an opportunity there.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a very good question. I'm guessing that the people that are extremely far on the right hand side of that were probably like, well, screw this guy. And I'm guessing people that were kind of on the fringe a little bit, maybe some of them paid attention to him and maybe some of them just stopped, you know. But if you're just, I think it's probably a little bit of everything. I don't know of any of those people personally, but I see them in the comment sections all the time. Like,
all the time.
You got MAGA people in the.
Whenever we talk about Eminem,
it's gonna be way too.
Not necessarily MAGA people, but
just Eminem
because again, I don't know any MAGA. I don't know any MAGA fans because it's like they're not fans. They're not hip hop fans. They're just like. You know, they like this thing.
The comments will definitely be lit.
But they get alerts anytime we talk about them or anybody that they love. Like when we said
Eminem, Nicki Minaj.
No. When we said something about
Kid Rock,
Candace Owens. Like, I mean, we said something about how like Cardi B had said something, responded to something Candace Owens said. Yeah. And then we had like all these MAGA grandmothers coming in, like people who we know don't listen to this show.
You're only here
to defend Candace Owens.
That's it. That's the only reason you're here.
Kid Rock, you would never. We're not on. You never listen to this show.
You're not qualified to have this conversation.
I was just surprised when they followed them around for the documentary. I was surprised at the reception that they picked up when they were recording, like just on the B-roll or whatever.
Right.
I didn't realize it was that. Like, I thought this was just something where there's guys that are recording videos on YouTube. They getting views. It's floating around. I didn't know the show footage existed.
Have you seen the MAGA rallies?
That's where they perform at.
Yeah,
I did. I was asleep on the fact that they perform at the rallies.
Great
I was asleep.
Yep. It's grifting.
Like it's like when you see the Blacks for Trump, and they don't even put them on. They don't even put the T-shirts on black people all the time. You got to understand, there's a check involved.
That's tough. That's tough right there. That's tough, Jay Moore. I ain't even think about that. That's
give me a T-shirt. Shoot, you might see me out there. My day off.
You know, it's gonna hurt the show. So.
I don't know. Maybe I'll get a shirt. Somebody gift me a shirt. I'll wear a Blacks for Trump shirt.
Just wear it around. See
just on the show.
On the other hand, might enhance the show.
You could burn it like people in Cleveland did LeBron jerseys.
Yeah, let me buy it first.
I was going to get a Justice for Juicy T-shirt made, but like I didn't know how people would react to that.